So, yeah, it's an expanded upon version of the cutscene we saw in the beginning of the game. Which was a dream Link had. Which was real life, but the future. Arg. You're a big nerd, Ganondorf, and you're gonna rule the world by killing everyone on it? I stand by that that's not a good plan. Wistful staring. Okay, so now that we have that cutscene all done, the ultimate cliffhanger, at least on the recording side, we're gonna get this shiny thing that was thrown into the water. It's roll credits. It is the Ocarina of Time itself. So here's the thing about having the Ocarina of Time parentheses item. It doesn't do anything different than the Fairy Ocarina. It genuinely, unironically, does nothing different. All it does is teach you the Song of Time. And I guess technically you needed to open the Door of Time, but in a rando, it's usually just open anyway. The Song of Time has a lot of uses, but the Ocarina of Time itself is functionally useless in terms of like gameplay. It doesn't empower the existing songs you already have. Really, it ate my input. I try to play fast and it just like doesn't register an input sometimes. So yeah, the Ocarina of Time basically is just here to teach you Song of Time. That's basically it, because you can't progress the game other than this. There's no way to get around it. There's no way to avoid it. Just you have the Ocarina of Time and the Song of Time. From a narrative standpoint, you need its power. From a gameplay standpoint, it is a cutscene and nothing more. So with that said, let's go ahead. Now, it's normally the point in a game where I'm like, oh, is there anything I want to do before going into this very obvious plot point that's going to lock my gameplay for a period of time? The answer is surprisingly, no, not really. You see, I don't really, ooh, it's bright. Let's get a red potion. Normally, yeah, at this point in, like, most games, this is like the RPG end of disc 1. It's only 30 rupees, okay. Wah. Normally, this is like the part of RPGs where it's like, the character you play as is gonna change forever now. And, like, a lot of stuff is gonna be different. Oh, wait, something I want to do first. While I'm thinking about it and I'm in this neck of the woods. This episode is mostly gonna be cutscenes, which is why I'm doing some gameplay of buying a potion and, you know, going here. Okay, I did get this sculpture already. I'm up to 21. I checked in the menu before recording. The next dungeon should get me all I need for the rest of the game, but there are some I'm just gonna habitually go out of my way to get. Chrono Trigger Future Treasure Chest noise. There's still gonna be some I'm gonna go out of my way to get. At least I'm pretty sure it's 30. I actually haven't played this vanilla in a long time. And I'm recording these in batch, so there's probably gonna be a lot of comments of, actually, the thing you want is on 50 Skulltulas. 30 gets you this. And I'm gonna be like, talking as if I had done, you know, uploaded and recorded that day. And I did not. I'm going off of a lot of rando knowledge, where I know 20 and 40 are functionally useless, I think. Or I'm pretty sure about 40, I could be wrong. Maybe the Super Mega Maximum wallet is also on, like, 40. I don't know, and I'm not looking it up because it's kind of funnier this way. All I know is 20 is worthless. That's all I know. I think one of them is a piece of heart. I think 30 is a piece of heart and 50 is the jumbo wallet. I know 100 is unlimited rupees, which is a completely pointless reward. Because realistically, money doesn't mean anything in this game, not really. It means digging holes in the graveyard attempts. It means going to, like, you know, shooting and stuff. Anyway, this is Din's Fire. This is our first spell that we got second. It basically is a big ball of fire. We functionally need this, just not right away, and it comes in handy in a few other spots. Okay, bye. So with that, let's use the Ocarina of Time to open the Door of Time. But first, let's go ahead and walk into the Guard of Time. And not get scalded by the Lord of Time. But not that one, the other one. The good one. Alright, there's a cutscene upon entering the Temple of Time for the first time. So upon playing the Song of Time with the Ocarina of Time at the Altar of Time, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside time, sufficient time to view them in their entirety. If you know, you know. But, like, I'm not exactly wrong. This is this part of the game. And I'm going to go until I have free reign to hit buttons again. And I don't remember how long or short these cutscenes are. And I'm gonna be talking over them like a degenerate, but yeah, that door opens. You technically don't have to do this. You can actually skip by doing like some really precision rolling in one of the corners or something. But not only have I like only gotten that trick once in my entire life of playing this game, but also there's no reason to. Like, sequence breaking doesn't really do a lot for me, so. It's that legendary blade. It's the Master Sword. So while this cutscene's going on, I would like to briefly touch upon the Zelda timeline, or timelines, or timeline. At this point, it's kind of not worth thinking about. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about the Zelda timelines. Oh no, we opened the door for Ganondorf. Now he can take over the Omniverse. He can take over cyberspace. He can download the Matrix. So what I'd really like to talk about, and I've already spoiled this in other things, but pretend I didn't, the dichotomy of most Zelda games, especially of the era, where Zelda games from, well, not all of them, because there's like a lot of exceptions, but a lot of Zelda games run on dichotomy in terms of gameplay. A Link to the Past started it with Light World, Dark World. You could argue Zelda 1 did Second Quest, but I don't count that because it's not really that transformative. Zelda 2 didn't do anything to that degree as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong about that, so like don't quote me. I'm not like speaking from a position of absolute knowledge of Zelda 2. And then A Link to the Past did Light World, Dark Worlds, where, you know, you had the same world, but it was transformed in a lot of ways. Link's Awakening didn't really do that, and we're not counting the glitched back rooms or whatever you got by, like, digging into the Bow Wow house or going into the post or whatever. Or warping enough times. We're talking about intended dichotomy. Ocarina of Times is, young Link, adult Link. And I say adult, but he's like 17, but don't do the math. And I had already spoiled this, but again, I am not your first playthrough. I'm just not. If I am, I don't know. Perhaps I am. It's kind of speaking from a position of arrogance and conceitedness that I say I am no one's first playthrough of this game. Maybe I am, but you know. But yeah, we opened the door, but we couldn't wield the Master Sword because we were too small. And because we were too small, we had to, like, sit here in stasis for 7 years until we were old enough. Which I think is weird, because you'd think by, like, 15 or something you could two-hand the Master Sword. And, like, at 16 and, like, 3/4, you know, nope, you still can't wield the sword in one hand. Nope, it's kind of almost arbitrary. And he's sleeping the whole time, so, like, that you know, his muscles have atrophied. So I don't think he's wielding any sword, let alone a legendary blade. But that's neither here nor there. Other Zeldas would do this dichotomy, kind of. I think the last one, to my knowledge, besides A Link Between Worlds, which I don't count that because it's basically A Link to the Past with extra steps. And I love that game before people think I'm bashing on it. Anyway, we get a coin. We get a Super Mario World coin from Rauru. It is very heavily implied / outright confirmed in the manga, because this game had a manga, that this was Keipora Gaebora the whole time. Or meant to be a thing, whatever. Twilight Princess, I think, was the last one that did the dichotomy thing. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. Like, I'd have to stop and think about the series. I know Breath of the Wild did not. I don't know if Skyward Sword did. Wind Waker didn't. So my point just kind of falls apart under any kind of scrutiny, but like, you know, that just kind of happens. Yeah. So we're gonna take a few steps, and by the way, we're not done with cutscenes. It's a ninja. I have a very funny story about Sheik later in the game regarding a certain game magazine. It wasn't Nintendo Power because they knew better. But there was a lot of, tell me you didn't beat the game without telling me you didn't beat the game. Mostly concerning Sheik's identity. And yeah, no, this person is Sheik, and they're telling us where all the stuff is. This is the Legend of the Temples. This is where the game gets genuinely really interesting. We're a hero. We have to go to the other sages. There was probably supposed to be a light temple once upon a time. I would love to see a version of this game with, like, all the cut content added in, but, like, without just being shoehorned in. Like, kind of a remake of this game that just, like, never cut the stuff to begin with, so we have to go through a light temple and, like, unfreeze Zora's domain. Bunch of spoilers, by the way, because I'm really good at this.